in Singapore, we are actually having an aging population. So with more people growing older, and if they don't take action in their estate plan, we could be leaving our monies that we have accumulated in our lifetime to undesired beneficiaries. Okay, so if you follow the Intestate Succession Act, if there are no beneficiaries named or no beneficiaries left behind, you see in the last row, the entire sum will actually go to the government. Okay, so if you do not have a will written, it will go under this Succession Act, and then it will go to these beneficiaries that are specified. So there is no way that you can argue in court and say that, no, I don't want to give my parents because one of my parents didn't even take care of me in my lifetime. So there's no way that there can be any argument here. Okay. So just to show you some newspaper articles that have appeared in the news in the past few years, okay, as to when you have no estate plan, what are some of the implications that could happen. Okay, so you see that there are things like women suing the grandkids for trying to sell HDB flat. Then, if you don't leave a will, you are unable to exclude or include, and your family could actually face additional trauma. All these articles can actually be Googled, and you can read more details on there. I won't spend time sharing each of it in details. Okay. Just to take note, my presentation also is not in your training booklet. Okay, so if you find that there's any slides that is relevant to you, you can make a screenshot. So we find that whenever we ask people, have you done your estate planning? Have you done your will or trust or LPA? A lot of them would actually say no. Okay, a majority of Singaporeans, is about close to 80%, have not returned their will. And we find that why they are not able to, they have not taken action is because they don't know how. Okay, or they don't have time, or they find it a hassle to say go to the lawyer's office to do all this because they don't even begin to know where to start. So this means that the general public actually needs a lot of hand-holding, and this is a blue ocean to you. Okay, if I will be using a lot of analogy in my presentation. So if I put the same question to financial planning industry, right? If you meet anybody off the street and you ask them, hey, have you bought a critical illness plan? Or hey, have you done your hospital plan? Or do you have a life insurance plan? The odds are, every time you ask this question, the odds is yes. Okay, but when you ask the general public, have you done your will? Most of them will have answered no. Okay, so this is a strategy that you could consider to further your knowledge in and be very well equipped in this area so that you can reach out to more people. Okay, more people, more leads, more prospects, more clients. Okay, so let's take a look at what is in the industry. You say, so okay, Annabelle, you're telling me there's a lot of people no will. So how? What should I do? So one thing to note is there are definitely free will templates. Now Google, right, is very powerful. You just have to Google free will template, and then you get a lot of information that you can just fill in and print it out, and then get 2 independent witnesses to sign, and that is considered as a valid will. Okay, so the misconception people has is that you need to go to a lawyer to do a will. Okay, this is a great misconception because, if you watch movies, right, sometimes they write, they are in the hospital, then they take their paper, they write, then, it can actually be a valid will. Okay, so here, the main concern isn't that you didn't do a will. Okay, it is, you did a will, and it's legally binding, but it doesn't achieve what you wanted. Okay, so it's very much like doing financial planning, doing no financial planning and just buying any insurance policy off online or over the phone, and then it doesn't achieve what you want. Okay. So if we look at the market, what are the types of wills out there? Number one, DIY, as mentioned earlier, just go online, you key in your personal information, you print it out, get two witnesses. That is as good as a valid will, and it costs less than $100. The other one would be to do a simple will. That would be to go to the lawyer or any estate planning company, and then it becomes a nomination exercise. So this means that they will see that, okay, you want to give your mom, you want to give your children, what's the share that you would like to give up? Half to your mom, then how many percent to your children? So it becomes a very templated way of writing a will, and it becomes a fixed way, because should the client pass away, it would then be a lump sum payout to the beneficiaries. Okay, so that's why I say it becomes a pure nomination exercise. It doesn't have any wishes, it doesn't have any instructions. It is purely, if I die, half to my parents, half to my children, for example. Okay, and then this would be the range of $250 to $1,000. Why this range is because it depends on the number of hours you sit in front with the lawyer, and then their fees are not fixed, so they will just charge you based on the relationship that you have with them. And then finally, this is where comprehensive will comes in. So this is where planning is involved. So a lot more questions being asked, like, how many beneficiaries do you have? Are there any vulnerable beneficiaries where they cannot handle lump sum? Is there a need that you want to delay their distribution till they are of a certain age? Or would you like to give them periodic payments instead? So instead of giving, say, $500,000 through an insurance policy to the children left behind, you could say that I would like to provide $1,000 every month per child over the next 20 years. Okay, so that is where there are specific instructions that could be put into a comprehensive will. So you can do that at lawyers, again, time cost based on hourly rate, or you can go to an estate planning company. There are many out there. One of them is Precepts, who is a licensed trust company that not only set up trusts, but also does wills and does training. That's why you're here today. And then it will be charged based on the clauses. So if the client wishes to add more wishes inside the will, then it will increase according to the number of clauses. If again I use the insurance term, it's like riders. With the more riders you add, the more the premium will be. Okay, so what is a comprehensive will? You can actually customize it. So it is really a customized estate plan according to this person wishes. You can delay it to a stipulated age where you can say that I will only give the full lump sum payout when my children are 35 years old. Then that is when the whole the testamentary trust or the trust that you set up will stop. Okay, you can watertight it because you have so many restrictions. It doesn't just pay out freely. And then you can appoint a professional executor or trustee. So here is where is a unique proposition that Precepts has as compared to lawyers or any other estate planning company. Because as an MAS licensed trust company, for clients who are, for example, divorced, single, elderly, or a spouse that doesn't want to delegate the role of the executor and trustee to a grieving spouse left behind, they can appoint Precepts to be the executor and trustee. So what this means is when the client passes away, Precepts will round up all the assets by going to every financial institution, so insurance companies, banks, investment companies, to find out if this client has any policies or any assets. And then once that is done, it is like a collation of all these clients' assets, and then following the wishes of this client based in the will, they will distribute to the beneficiaries. Okay, so this is something that can be delegated, especially for this group that I mentioned. Simple will or layperson's executor, these were some of the articles that indicated. Nadine, if I pronounce it correctly, sorry. So in short, going to estate planning company is better than lawyers. I would say yes. Okay, again, give the analogy. It's because the lawyers generally do not want to specialize in writing wills. They would rather spend their expertise in divorce cases, court cases, conveyancing. So that is where the money is, and that is where they are really making use of their education. So you'll find that very few lawyers will specialize in doing wills. And the misconception people have, just go to law firm. But I did that myself when I bought my private property back in the days. And because I have a loan, I have to go to this lawyer's office to sign on some papers. So they say that, hey, Annabelle, you just bought a property. Do you have a will? So I say, no, I have not written. And now that you have this new property, right, I think it's a good time for you to do a will. I charge you very cheap, $80 only, since you are with us now in this office. Just $80. Then I find, oh, okay, since I'm there anyway, I'll do it. So ended up, all they asked was, who are my beneficiaries? I just gave them, they write it out. Then it was a paralegal who came, like the admin, who came and do for me. Then after that, loosely passed me a few sheets of paper, asked me to sign. And that was my will. And then I was like, this is valid. It's not binded or anything. It's just some pieces of paper stapled together. This is valid. Then he said, yes, you must keep it properly. They're all okay, no? Okay, so a lawyer will not do fact-finding with you. So as I go on my presentation, I will show you why you as the financial advisor who is equipped with the knowledge can actually value add your client this way, and you could be the one doing the wills for your client, okay, using our platform. Okay. So in short, estate planning is not just a question of how to distribute. It's not a nomination exercise. It becomes a lot more questions asked. What is the values that the client has when they pass away? Very much like when Senior Minister Lee Kuan Yew passed away. He had like a lot of wishes for the family. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out to be as foolproof as he wished it to be. If not, there won't be all these public court cases. Yeah. So you want to find out what are the values that the client has for the family. Would they want to delegate it? Would they want to protect vulnerable beneficiaries? And do they want to delay it or have some privacy over this? So based on this picture you see here, it is very much like a tree. Okay, so if one person passes away and they didn't do an estate plan, it is akin to getting the family to just chop down this tree and then enjoy the fruits of this tree. But in estate planning, if planning is done properly, it is very much of not chopping down the tree, but continuing to fertilize this tree and enjoy the fruits of the labor for many generations. So in your financial planning process, you will have done, financial planning on a comprehensive level with your client. You find out what's their financial situation, you find out what are their priorities, and then who are their dependents, you analyze it, and then you do a proposal. So very much like financial planning, most of your proposal will focus on these three areas of wealth creation, where you create the first insurance plan for your client or first savings plan to help them create this wealth. And then you go on to do wealth preservation to ensure that if any critical illness occur, hospitalization occur, they can make use of the plan that you have proposed to them. And then finally, wealth accumulation in terms of education and retirement funding. So in your arsenal, right, of tools that you can help your client with, wealth distribution is probably one of the lacking parts of this puzzle. Why? Because the only things in your arsenal is insurance nomination. So you have learned with Alan 49L, 49M. Probably what are some limitations there, because they are all lump sum. If you don't do it, then what happens? It could just come out in one lump sum and then too much at one time. So when you do your KYC, all this will be covered. Estate planning will ask you to just focus on these three parts. One, dependents. Who are these beneficiaries that matter to your client? So beyond those that depends on them, on their income, you might also want to go one step further to ask who are the dependents, or who are the beneficiaries you don't wish to benefit. Okay, then finding out more about assets and liabilities, okay, and then filling in the gap through wealth distribution. So I have to give you a lifeline presentation that you will be probably familiar with. So this is your client, and we want to, plan for their retirement. We want to set up a swimming pool, okay, where we want to pool all our resources together. So we plan to ensure that should anything unfortunate happen in terms of critical illness, disability, there is a sum of money that pays out. Okay, so we continue to fill this swimming pool. If there's any personal accident that occurs, then we want this swimming pool to pay for the personal accident expenses. And then we go on and on. Okay, you're all familiar with this. Okay, so throughout the whole lifetime of this client, they may, continue to invest, have a house, have a business, and have a car. So all this is in this swimming pool, housed in this swimming pool. And when your client reaches his retirement age, he's going to look into a swimming pool. Is it filled or not? Okay, if it's very shallow, then if he jumps, he might hurt himself. Okay, but if it's, he has done a proper financial plan, then he'll be very happy to see a filled swimming pool, with great scenery, and he can jump in and enjoy himself. So we always plan on what if the client passes away, then how? Okay, so if we have beneficiaries left behind, say the spouse, the parents, and the children, if there is no estate plan done, it is very much like passing an axe to the family. So you see, the axe just chopped down on this swimming pool. For those who didn't see, I press again. The axe chopped the swimming pool, and then you see the funds flowing down in one shot to the family. So if let's say you have a $2 million policy, he has 500K in CPF money, all this money is going to be paid out at one shot to the beneficiaries left behind. And if there's no proper planning done, at 18, the children would inherit the full sum. Okay, it could be 1 million, it could be a lot of money, taking into consideration that Singaporeans are getting more affluent. Okay, so instead of an axe, what could be done is to install a tap, okay, where you can adjust the flow of the water or flow of the funds to the family. Okay, so this could be a better way to plan for your client's wealth distribution. And when we are in the cap of a financial advisor, we want to take care of the client not only when they are alive, but even beyond that, and to ensure that whatever the client wanted for the family can continue to be fulfilled even when he's no longer around. Okay, so in short, the type of distribution methods is summarized in these three areas, and this could be the two additional tools that you can add into your arsenal beyond the insurance nomination. Okay. And for wealth distribution, you're truly taking care of the family because you're integrating estate planning as part of your solutions, and you're really, planning beyond a client's lifetime. Okay, so if you were to look at the estate planning process, when a client passes away, and these are examples of all the assets that your client has, does it automatically go to his beneficiaries when he passes away? Okay, unfortunately, no. Okay, but the concept people have is that, if anything, I die, my HDB flat go to my surviving spouse, then my savings account, never mind, they got my PIN number, they can access, you know. But again, that is not legal, yeah. So even if client pass away, they know the ATM where is in the wallet, they go and try and withdraw, they could be potentially sued. Okay, and we know that insurance will not pay out unless it's a proper claimant. CPF, if no CPF nomination, jialat. Okay, means really have to wait till the whole process is completed, then the beneficiaries can receive. That property is usually, you know, depending on how they hold, whether it's joint tenant or tenancy in common. Digital assets are like now very popular: Grab wallet, Shopback, Bitcoin. Okay, so you see, when they go through this process, why I say it doesn't translate to it going to the beneficiary or family straight away is because there's always leakages. So if there's loan, there's legal fees that will have to help to file for this court process. There are taxes, income tax still remains to be paid, and if there are medical expenses. So to you as a PP partners, is it? PP partners, yeah. This is your first opportunity, and that would be to cover these leakages. Okay, because if you can plug the hole here, it means that the entire assets that is going to be transferred to the family can be maximized. So you minimize here, you maximize here. All right, and then because of this court process, there is actually a time lapse. This is your second opportunity with your client, because if this estate, if there's no estate plan done, this time lapse could be very detrimental to your clients, because all these assets are locked. Unless they have done a CPF nomination or an insurance nomination, then all this can be free. Okay, it doesn't go through probate. But if you go through the whole probate process with the court process taking more than 6 months, can you imagine if there is ongoing living expenses and the family can't access the funds of the deceased person? Okay, so your second opportunity will be to plan for this time lapse through a CPF nomination, insurance nomination, and possibly a trust if these two amounts ends up to be a very big sum. Okay, and then once that is done, then it will go to the desired beneficiaries if there's a will, and then if there's no will, then it will follow the fixed set according to Intestate Succession Act. So there is a time lapse before the beneficiaries get their share. So can the beneficiaries left behind afford to wait? Okay, so the only thing that is going to help the client, okay, especially when most clients do not take the initiative to do this estate plan on their self, is actually you. You are the missing piece to assist your client. Okay, so beyond the financial plan that you do for your client, you could actually assist them in their estate plan as well. And when you do that, you will actually help your clients think ahead and cover any gaps. And what would be the gap? How can the gap be covered? Simply an insurance plan. Okay, so these are your opportunities of how you can create more business. Okay, so take a look at your clientele base. Okay, this could be a good time to revisit and create new conversation with your client and protect them. So I'm just gonna flash. I will not go each and every one because they are self-explanatory. You may want to do a screenshot. Okay, why this group of people? Basically, they are termed as vulnerable or people who needs more estate planning. Okay, so if we have 2 months that have passed in 2021, perhaps it's a good time to list down all your clients and then group them according to these categories of their estate planning needs. So these 5 groups are those that have high estate planning needs. So you could speak to them very quickly, after this course, to highlight to them what are their potential pitfalls. Okay, just show them Intestate Succession Act is a good way to explain to them why estate planning is important, and especially with the time lapse. There's this court process. Do they need to plan for that? So the progression with the client is, if you have no will, then how? Then do you need a simple will? And then simple will enough or not? Or could it go a further step of doing comprehensive will or a trust or an LPA? So this is Precepts. You will have, not sure Alan covered this, but basically we are firstly a trust company, and then we outsource, not outsource, we also do other services like wills, global incorporation, setting up companies, and trainings. So our trainings, you will find that it is more practical based. It is not theory, because for example, Alan or even Mr. Lee that's coming in later, they actually meet the client face to face to do all this. So that's why they have very practical experience and examples to share with you how estate planning is done. Okay, so if you're talking about causes, what are the causes that you could look at? Okay, let me just click. Okay, you are now at APP range, where you are trying to further your knowledge in specialized topics and gain the APP tax. So after the test, if you pass the exam, then you will be able to use this APP designation. What you could consider after this is to go into our estate planning, wills and trust class. Okay, because you will then understand the tools of testamentary trust, a will, and a living trust. So you're like, if I were to give you an analogy, APP is like your AFP, AFCC, HFC, CFP cert that you can go for, okay, to get the title. But then you want to know what is the actual tools. So you need to understand what's whole life plan, what's endowment plan, what's universal life plan, what's investment linked plans. Because if you don't understand those, then how do you propose the solution? So our estate planning, wills and trust class will cover that. And then further, if you wish to extend your services to include estate planning solutions, then you can be our estate planner. Come on board and be our estate planner. Okay, so I will go on. So basically you see that if you join us as an estate planner, you are a practitioner, so you can offer the wills and trust services to your clients directly. But if you are at our estate planning, wills and trust class and APP range, if your client needs any assistance in their estate planning, you can refer. Okay, so I'm the person that you will liaise with. You will tell me, okay, I have this client, then I would like to refer my client to Precepts, and then we'll get an experienced estate planner to follow up with your client for the estate planning needs. Okay, but if you say that, no, I don't want to refer to a third party, I want to assist my client myself, then join us as an estate planner. Okay. So this is the 3 days class. With a 95% funding, it is very affordable, $96. Okay, this $96 is till end June, because after June, the 5% will be removed. Then it becomes a 90% funding. Okay, so what is the breakdown? Okay, so just now I mentioned it's for certification and knowledge. You will deep dive into the solutions of wills and trusts. So $96 till $95 till June. It's a 3-day course, and then it's on a referral basis. So if I compare this to the AAPP course that you are on, the difference here is there's an additional designation that you are getting through the AAPP. You are going into various estate planning topics on an introductory level without deep diving into any. And then you pay a total of $394 because of the designation. It's a 2-day course. Again, it's still on a referral basis, and later you have your 1.5 hour exam. Okay, so beyond the 2-day course that you are in, you have another 5 that you can consider to go into to gain more specialized knowledge. Okay, so it depends on what you are interested in and who your clientele is. The orange one, okay, and this yellow one is for clients who have properties. And how do you plan for these clients? And then the green one is for clients who owns family businesses. So they are co-owners and they are all related. The blue one is for clients who are not related, so maybe friends, then they've set up the company together. And then this one is on high net worth. So whether you have high net worth client or not, it's a good cost to consider, because you gain the knowledge and then you start seeing these clients, right? You know, much like sometimes you want to buy a particular car model and then suddenly you just keep seeing that particular car model. Okay, so this is all the pricing. It is very affordable, $72 to $180, and this pricing applies to June. Okay, so finally, if you were to compare to being an estate planner, then what is the difference? Okay, you will be able to extend your services to include wills and trusts. So you see above, it is very much like you taking on a HI license, so HI cert, so that you can offer health insurance, or taking PGI and CGI so that you can offer general insurance solutions. So here, it is very much like a license as well to offer estate planning solutions. You go on to our Precepts platform to offer all the services that we have on board. You will also learn and go through training. There's no IVF here because there's license involved. And for all of you who are with Finexis, the pricing will be $693.4. Okay, and this is for a two-year license. It is, I would say, very, very competitive, very, very good pricing, because you just take $700 divided by 2, which is only $350 per year. And what this gives you is consultation with your client. Okay, and then on top of that, you get commission as well. Okay, so there's an additional 1.5 day onboarding on our product and services. I go on to the next slide so that I can explain to you what is this consultation I was referring to. Okay, so I mentioned that you will be able to access the Precepts platform. So this means that whatever we offer in our company, you'll be able to extend to your client as well. So when it comes to wills, we definitely can do that because we have a wills team who are trained to draft the wills. So your role is actually fact-finding with the client, where you find out 3 things. Who are the beneficiaries your client want to give? What are their assets and how? Once this is filled out, it's very much like your insurance application that you do with your client. We also have an e-wills instruction form that is online. You key in the instructions in, submit. My colleagues in the wills team will draft the will. So once the will is drafted, they will send it back to you as our estate planner, and then you send it to your client. So you are seen to be the one, the media person in that sense, okay, to offer this service to your client where you do the wills, making use of Precepts to do it. Okay, wills custody is to safekeep your client's will, because if you have done a will and you misplace it, it is as good as not having written a will, okay, or it gets torn away. Okay, so custody will take care of that. And then if the client wants to do an LPA Form 1 or Form 2, we are able to do that as well. They are able to set up a trust, so this will be covered in more detail later by Mr. Lee. And then for clients who wishes to have an executor or a trustee, that is a corporate entity who is always alive and will never predecease them. Family relationship will also not change because it's a corporate entity. Then this is the service that we have. And we are the only firm in Singapore that have all these services under one roof, under one brand. Okay, as compared to other other companies out there, then you will have to go to 3 different companies, 3 different parties to do their will, trust, and LPA. So for here, the convenience is to you because you just work with one entity. The client only needs to come for, say, one appointment to sign the will. Okay, everything before that can be done on an online basis. Okay, so the other benefits that we have is that when you want to write your own will or trust, we actually give you an exclusive discount and you will form an additional income stream. Okay, so depending on the service that your client takes up, if it's a will, there's a 50% commission payable to you. Then it goes on. What is unique is the referring and the deferred fees. This means that if the client has decided that Precepts to be the executor or trustee for their affairs, so means that when they pass away, Precepts will go in to round up their affairs, then according to what is written in will, give out the money accordingly, or they have set up a testamentary trust or a trust, we will round up the assets and hold it in trust and then give out according to periodic, conditional, or delayed. Okay, so why is there a commission? It means that when we do that service, we actually charge a fee for that. And out of that fees that we charge, that's a 20% payable to you. So we do have estate planners who have done their wills and trusts for the client. The client has unfortunately passed away and they continue to receive this income. Okay, so it becomes a recurring income to them. Okay, so with that, if you are keen to find out more about being an estate planner, then you can sign up at this link on the left. And then if you all have any questions regarding your client's estate plan, client wants to do a will but you're not ready to be an estate planner, you can link up with me. Okay, if not, I am done.